Welcome to the JayGravesReport College Football Weekly Preview, Week 15. Y'all know how we get it in, so let's get it in. Previewing the top 5 ball games of the weekend, so let's get right to it. Now, this weekend is special because this is championship weekend, bruh. All the conference championship games come down to this weekend. Now, let's start in the Big 12. Now, the Big 12 doesn't have a conference championship game because it's only 10 teams in the Big 12. So whoever finishes with the best record wins the conference. But we got the Bedlam game going on. Now, first, we got number 17, Oklahoma, goes to Stillwater to play the number 6 Oklahoma State Cowpokes. Now, Oklahoma State comes into this ball game 10-1. Oklahoma 9-2. They kind of dull this year because they lost a couple of ball games. They went dull against Texas and they went dull against Baylor. Now, here's the deal. This is supposed to be what they call a rivalry game, the Bedlam series. But let's keep it real, all the way 100, whichever comes first, Playboy. This ain't a rivalry game because it's only a rivalry game when both teams are winning back and forth. This series is 82-18-7. Duh! Oklahoma gonna beat the brakes off these boys once again. Why? Because out of the last 10 ball games, OU have won 9, and Oklahoma State been winning. I mean, they've been winning in the last few years. I mean, the program is coming up, but every time they play OU, they get dubbed. So I don't see them being any better this year than they have been the last 9 or the other 82. Let's move over to the next ball game. Now, we're going to go out to the Pac-12. Now, the Pac-12 championship is number 7, Stanford, going to Tempe to play number 11, Arizona State. Now, here's the deal. Both these teams come in 10-2. However, both these teams played each other already back in September. Stanford beat the brakes off these boys 42-28. Now, I know it's difficult to win, to beat a done twice in one season. But when you put up 42 points on a boy, I mean, let's keep it real. In that first ball game, it was 39-7 through 3 quarters, Stanford. Taylor Kelly came in and put up 3 touchdowns for Arizona State in the 4th quarter just to make it look respectable. Now, I don't see anything happening in this ball game that didn't happen in the last ball game. And let's keep it real. Stanford is a much better ball club, and I know Arizona State is too, but Stanford shut down the Parliament Funkadelic. So the 3-4 defense that David Shaw's coming in, hey, he gonna have these boys rolling. Hey, I'm going with Stanford Cardinal and the Dub Tree in this ball game. Let's move on to the SEC. Let's go down to the Georgia Dome, where we got number 5, Mizzou, coming into this ball game 11-1, and we got number 3, Auburn, coming off of a huge win last weekend in the Iron Bowl, beating old Alabama. Hey, let's keep it real. All these boys this week been trying to tell me that it was a fluke, that it was a 109-yard kickoff return. It was a fluke. It shouldn't have happened. Hey, let's keep this real. The 109-yard kick return was a culmination of events, Playboy, because Alabama missed 2 field goals. They got 1 block. Somebody had to block it, bruh. It was Auburn on the other side. It was 4th and 1 that Alabama couldn't convert on. Somebody had to stop them from converting. That was Auburn. Hey, I know that Nick Marshall can't throw the ball over his shoulder. He come into this game with about 1,500 yards and 11 touchdowns. But Auburn is number 5 in the country at running the football with 318 yards per game. Now, here's the deal. James Franklin on the other side at Mizzou is a dual threat. He comes in with 1,600 yards and 16 touchdowns. And Mizzou is ranked 18th at running the football. So both these teams come in legit. But I'm gonna say this to all my SEC fans out there. How in the world, explain to your boy, I'm your boy. Explain to me how is it that Mizzou could be a middle-of-the-road team for years in the Big 12, averaging 4 to 5 ball games a year, losing. Now all of a sudden, 2 years into the SEC, they playing for the SEC championship, bruh. Talk to me. I mean, They didn't change their recruiting model. They still in the same place. They still in Mizzou, in Columbia, Missouri, where it's cold, where it's snowing, where boys, the elite cats from the South, are not coming to Mizzou to play football. So tell me how these done all of a sudden in 2 years in the SEC championship. Now, who's gonna win this ball game? I know Auburn comes into this joint rolling, but here's the deal: Auburn's already played its Super Bowl. They won the Iron Bowl. That's the biggest game of the year. These Duns ain't even prepared for this game, bro. They've been hanging out with TNs all week, listening to boys tell them how good they are. They still living on the immaculate deflection. Now they living on the doggone win against Alabama. They gonna come into this game dub, and Mizzou is gonna win the SEC. Let's go on to the next ball game. Now we got the Big Ten championship is down in Indianapolis at Lucas Oil Stadium, and look out for your boy. I'll be somewhere hanging out around the building. Now it's your man. Now we got number 2, Ohio State comes into this ball game 12-0, but we gonna keep it real all the way 100, whichever come first. Ohio State comes into this game 24-0. Now we got number 10, Michigan State comes into this game 11-1. Now, Michigan State is this close from being undefeated. They was dull up at Notre Dame earlier this year. Gave up 17 points. All 17 points Notre Dame scored was off of Michigan State mistakes. So, now, Michigan State comes into this game averaging 29 points a game, but they only giving up 11. They got the number 1 defense in the country. But on the other side, we got Ohio State coming in averaging 48 points a game, and they only giving up 20 points. So here's the difference: Braxton Miller, Carlos Hyde, huge difference makers in this ball game. But the major difference maker in the game is Urban freaking Meyer. Hey, we wouldn't even be talking about Alabama right now, bro. Being a defending 2-time national champ, we'd be talking about Ohio State, because last year it would have been Ohio State and Notre Dame playing for the championship because the Duns was undefeated. So now they spotted you boys 12 games, and they coming back and gave you 12 more. So now, no way Ohio State loses this ball game this weekend, bro. No way. It's not going to happen because Urban freaking Meyer is in the building. Now, let's move on to the next ball game. We got number 20. We going down to the ACC. We got number 20, Duke, showing up for the ACC championship in Charlotte to play the number 1 Florida State Seminoles. Let's move on to the next ball game. Hey, it's not even worth talking about this game. Famous Jameis just got cleared of all. They didn't even charge the boy with anything. So now they've taken all the pressure off of this team. They might go out here and score 1,000 points on these boys. Let's keep it real. They're going to put up 143 points on these boys this weekend. I just feel sorry for Duke that they just happen to be the dog crossing the street while this boy going down the street with no brakes downhill in a semi. Hey, it's your man Jay Graves Report from the JayGravesReport.com, or you can hit me up on Twitter at JayGravesReport so you can holler at your boy.